just joined lately, this is what we are talking about. In short, we are talking about holistic prevention of stroke. We last week we discussed what we call stroke prevention using some pretty good dietary options, using some food options. And today we are not doing the food. We want to say that if you cannot afford those foods, or if for any reason you are not able to use food to help you protect yourself against stroke, there's other options. There are other options that you can basically employ. And much as we want you to incorporate all of them, this may be another thing you could do, either on top of it or in place of the diet, especially if none of the good foods we showed you is good enough for you. Come on, man. And so we're going to be talking holistic stroke prevention using other forms instead of diet. Good, right?
Right.
Our day was good.
But
Did
you
have
were
anything?
saying that if you can afford a diet, we all eat
We all eat, right?
in one way or the other. So it's just a little twist with our diet. It's not like you can afford something. Instead of buying certain group of foods, you buy the one that will enhance your body and prevents you from getting stroke. So there is no leeway around it. As long as we eat, we just have to make the right choices so that we will pick the right foods and eat healthy and prevent stroke from striking any of us.
All right. That's very important. So as long as we eat, we still have the options. And we said, as a matter of fact, you cannot say you cannot use diet because there's a lot of food groups that we mentioned. But we just don't want to end there because you know how we like to talk. We want to tell you more, all right? So we're going to be talking about holistic stroke prevention ideas, certain things that you can do. And it's going to be pretty, deep, I should say. It's going to take some time if you really want to get it right. And so we want you to grab some. We don't use popcorn when we watch our shows because popcorn is not healthy. So grab some water, grab some almonds, grab some peanuts. She doesn't like peanuts because she says it's not healthy. But grab something and stick around the table or wherever you're watching us from, and let's roll together because we got a lot to share. And with that being said, my name is Dr. Oteng, and my beautiful wife is
Dr. Gifty Oteng.
Oh, come on, man. We are on the right to share. All right, so share the stream, like it, thumbs up, whatever it is you can do. Follow if you're on Facebook, TikTok, LinkedIn, YouTube, subscribe. All right. So let's move straight to see if I can get that right. I did not get it right. So I'm going to go back and then make sure that it is right. But honey, we can start while I make sure it is right now. So tell us about the statistics.
Oh, yeah. So I think last week we mentioned that the stats concerning stroke is not encouraging at all. It's not something that we joke with because from the statistics around here in the United States, every 40 seconds, someone in the United States has a stroke. Every 40 seconds. And every 3 minutes and 14 seconds, someone dies of stroke. So 40 seconds, someone gets a stroke, and every 3 minutes, somebody dies of stroke. So the statistics out there is very alarming. That's why we are trying to share information with you, our audience, so that you'll be informed and be armed against getting strokes.
All right, my goodness. 40 seconds, somebody gets a brain stroke. Every 40, I mean, this is under a minute. Somebody gets a stroke in the US. And then every 3 minutes, 14 seconds, somebody passes away. And in a year, you say, well, about 800,000 people die of stroke. And so we think you are not going to get tired of us talking about stroke, no matter how many times we speak about it. Because if it's preventable, then we might as well talk about it so you can prevent it and protect yourself from getting a stroke. And so that is what we're going to be doing. So let's hit our slides and then I'll be more thorough with it. Okay, so our main topic is that beyond diet, holistic approaches to stroke prevention. That's what we're going to be talking throughout this show. Beyond diet, beyond the food groups that we told you about, we're going to be talking about holistic approaches to stroke prevention. And so, with the statistics down, we believe you're going to be challenged to stick around and watch, because by the time we end this show, about 20 people would have already died because of stroke. So it's not that far off. About 20 people will die. I'm not kidding you. That's the statistics from the Centers for Disease Control in the US. And so, if you happen to be alive and well and watching or find this stream, don't pass it up. Don't just say that. Don't scroll it up or whatever it is. Especially if you're on TikTok, just scroll up. Just pause right there, because this may potentially save your life. All right. So beyond diet, holistic approaches to stroke prevention. Now, we already said that we already talked about what I call the statistics, right? So we can potentially just zoom into our discussion. So, what is holistic? What is holistic when we say beyond diet, holistic approaches to stroke prevention? Basically, what we mean by holistic is employing other avenues that you could use to prevent stroke. Of course, you have holistic approaches for other disease states, such as cancers or heart disease and all those other diseases that we know. We know the traditional ways of preventing disease, and the holistic way are stuff that most people may not even think about, but which are indirectly linked to the disease states that we are talking about, and in this particular case, which is indirectly linked to strokes. And so that is what we mean by holistic approach. So we may not list all of them, but at least we are going to list a few, at least 6 of them we're going to list today, so that we can employ them. But if you know more, what we are saying is that as long as it is beneficial, you can add it to your own strategies so you can prevent stroke from occurring in your life or the life of your spouse, your children, or whoever you take care of. All right, so I think that is what I meant by holistic approach. You want to add anything, or should we go for it? All right, so with that being said, now let's go straight to our outline for today's presentation. So we're going to be starting off talking about stress management, as well as sleep hygiene, how they affect your risk for stroke, and how you can potentially change your way of life to avoid getting a stroke.
And we also talk about physical activity. I think this has been something that we mentioned a lot, physical activity, and how social connections can also help minimize people from getting stroke.
All right, and from there, we're going to be talking about some natural supplements, maybe over-the-counter supplements, if you may say, that you can also take and also hopefully protect you from getting a stroke. And then from there, we will go to lifestyle and environmental factors that you can change or fix so that your stroke risk may go down, or so you will not get stroke, in short. So these are the things that are going to form the basis of our discussion today. And that's why I'm saying it is a lot of information. We're going to spend more time on the sleep hygiene. And so make sure that you stick around and let's share this good news together. Now, if you have any questions, you can put it on the chat. Those of you on YouTube, we can read your chat. And those of you on Facebook, we can read your chat right now. But those on LinkedIn, shot is far. I can't see them. But suffice to say, keep the discussion there also going. And let's roll together. All right, so we can move forward. All right, so the first one then is stress management. How can we manage our stress levels in order to avoid getting stroke? If you did not know that being chronically stressed increases your chance of getting a stroke, now you know. Come on, man. Now you know. Stress is a very great factor that can cause stroke. when we talk about stroke, we usually think about somebody is overweight, somebody has high cholesterol, but stress is number one of the top causes of stroke. There was a young guy, a young journalist who worked at the BBC who passed away. You could see that he was in shape and everything, and yet I heard that he got a massive stroke and died. Pretty much, I think he was in his 40s. And so stress, I mean, most people say that it was the stress of working at BBC that potentially killed him. Wow. And whether or not that is true, we know that for his age, stress is definitely one of the contributing factors, even if it is not the sole cause. And so stress is dangerous and can cause a stroke in you. So how does stress, I'm going to have you come in, how does stress affect stroke? Maybe we can talk about that.
So we know that if you are stressed, you release a hormone called cortisol, right? So the cortisol work on or affect the vessels, the blood vessels, constricting the blood vessels and increasing your blood pressure. And as we've all learned together, high blood pressure definitely can cause you to have stroke. It can cause your blood vessels to rupture, and that can lead to hemorrhagic stroke. Or it can break a plug in your arteries, and it can block the flow of blood or oxygen to the cells, and it can cause the cells to die, and that can lead to stroke. So having high blood pressure, that can be led because you are so stressed and your body is producing all these hormones that are causing a constriction of the blood vessels, can really affect your blood vessels and the blood pressure, and that can lead to stroke.
Definitely. High blood pressure coming from stress. That is what she is saying. So if you are chronically stressed, the stress is going to increase your blood pressure because of the cortisol hormone that is being released. And that in turn will lead you to have high blood pressure. And high blood pressure is one of the leading causes of stroke. And so that is why stroke happens when people are stressed. Now,
and we can also include that releasing cortisol can increase your weight. As we know, there is a linkage between stress and weight gain. And as your weight is increased, the ability of the heart to keep up with the flow, with the pumping, if it's so restricted, it can cause the heart to pump harder, increasing the blood pressure and leading it to stroke.
Definitely. And also, not to spend too much time, stress also leads to high blood glucose levels. Yes. So if you have diabetes, your sugar levels are going to be worse. Why? Because you are always stressed. Chronic stress will lead to unmanageable blood sugar levels. And if you don't have diabetes and you are always stressed, you are on your way. God forbid, you are on your way to getting high glucose levels and high blood, glucose. That is potentially going to lead you to have stroke risk increasing. We have already spent a lot of time talking about how all those things will lead to a stroke. But now we are telling you that if you manage your stress, there is a chance that you reduce your risk of stroke. So that is the key there. Manage your stress levels and reduce your risk of stroke. And the way we manage your stress levels, quickly, we're going to mention some of them. If you can start off.
Yeah, so we have the first one that we have up here is meditation. So if you are overwhelmed and you are stressed, the best thing you can do is to meditate. I think last time we mentioned, as a Christian, that's the time that you can wait on God, read your Bible, ponder over the promises of God, and whatever is stressing you out, you pray about it and you let go, and you'll be able to control your stress. Because if you don't have that going, we mentioned the complications coming to you if you are not able to control or manage your stress. So meditation is definitely one way to manage your stress.
All right. And I think somebody actually, I think this is not somebody, this is somebody that I know. Leader of a church, he asked a question: how can we manage stress effectively? My goodness. There is a lot we can do, and Gifty has mentioned meditation. Meditation is one of them, and I'm pretty sure that our brother has been doing that. An astound Christian, so definitely. And then deep breathing, deep breathing exercise. As a matter of fact, on our channel, you find a video that I actually sat myself down and tried to show how to overcome stress using several techniques, including deep breathing. So yoga also helps with stress management. And of course, those of you who are spiritually inclined, if you go to church, if you pray, prayer, oh, come on, man.
You pour it out,
If you
right?
pour it out in prayer, you reduce stress. And I think the last time you also said something about making sure you live within your means and not overextending yourself so much. If you do overextend yourself, you are going to be chronically stressed. So those are some of the few things that you can do to enhance your help. Help you to manage your stress levels so that you do not end up with a stroke. Because stroke, one of the key things that lead to stroke is stress. You get stressed, your blood pressure shoots up, especially in the time that you are least expecting it. And if there is a plaque that's breaking off from your arteries, oh, God forbid, a clot will be made, and then that clot will lodge into your brain and cause the stroke. So stress, we got to take life easy. Last time we were talking about, if you're a father, it's okay to be a father at home. Play with the kids. Make sure that life is easy, not always acting as if there is, as a policeman in the house. If you have, you know, as life is like tense. There's tension. Father, daddy is home, so nobody can even talk because daddy is resting. Everything is, it's come to still. We got to break those pieces of lifestyle and form new ones where you will be free. You relax. Enjoy the children if you have children. Enjoy the family. Enjoy the wifey. Sometimes they can be troublesome, but you know what I'm saying. But they come with a package. Just take it as they are, and let's reduce stress because if not, we will leave them and they will enjoy all the fruits of our hard labor. But we're not going to leave. We're going to be here. We're not going to get stroke. We are going to have the right health and enjoy the fruits of our old age and the fruits of our children and all the good things that God has done for us.
Yeah.
So definitely let's work on our stress. But we'll come back again maybe later on just to tackle stress alone because there's a lot of stress, especially for the immigrants and for people who happen to have certain things going that they cannot really manage. So we'll probably come back on that and do a lot more on stress. But for now, because of the nature of the topic, let's move on and see what else is coming up. So I think the next one is sleep hygiene. Sleep hygiene. And again, this is a holistic approach. All these things we are going to mention ultimately will reduce your blood pressure, reduce your cholesterol, and reduce all those things that directly affect your brain health or your cardiovascular health. And so sleep hygiene is one of them. And let's talk about the role of sleep. How does sleep help to kind of overcome or help you prevent stroke from happening? We can start off with that.
Yeah, so we know that our body has been set up in such a way that the blood pressure, we have something called circadian rhythm, right? So your blood pressure in the morning is high, but when you sleep at night, it drops. So there is a rhythm in your body that God has set it in motion. So that's why we have day to work and nighttime to sleep. So you have to be conscious about having a good night's sleep. I think with our studies, we came across that at least you have to have 7 to 8 hours of effective or real deep sleep in order to be able to get this rhythm healthy. So the role of a sleep is to have a healthy circadian rhythm. That big word, don't get that confused. It's just that your body has been set up in such a way that the blood pressure is high during the day and it reduces or it drops low at night. So if you don't have that healthy rhythm going on, it's definitely going to affect your blood pressure. And as we've all learned already, high blood pressure would definitely lead you in getting stroke. So deep sleep, good night rest is solely recommended. That will help you prevent. It will prevent you from getting stroke.
Definitely, definitely, definitely. So a good night rest prevents stroke because your circadian rhythm gets on point. You know, your pressure rises up a little bit in the morning and cools down in the evening. So
Night.
if and the night, if you are sleeping normally, you know, more sleep in the night, then you are giving your body, you know, enough or longer periods of time to have a low pressure. So if you are not sleeping, then it means that you're going to have an extended period when your pressure is higher. And that is not good for your cardiovascular health. And so definitely let's make sure that we get the 7 to 8 hours of sleep that Gifty said we should, even though pretty much, I'm pretty sure if a lot of people are watching, they may say that who gets 7 hours? Who gets 8? Yes, some people do. Some people do.
No, even if you cannot get the 8 hours, we were talking about you getting at least six
At least
hours.
6, yes.
You know,
At least 6. Some studies suggest 6 hours,
6.
but we don't want you to take 6 and then make it 5. So we say 7. So if you don't make it at 7 and you get it 6, at least it's okay. So definitely shoot for 8 hours of sleep daily in order to have a very good circadian rhythm for your heart health. And then also, I don't know if you talked about the hormonal
No, not
balance.
yet.
So another way sleep affects you or affects blood pressure is that when you do not sleep well or when you do not sleep enough, you are preventing your body from doing the right thing. And doing the right thing is not secreting cortisol all the time or adrenaline all the time. And so if you want to have a good, you know, hormonal balance, your cortisol levels are on point, your adrenaline levels are on point. They are not extended periods where your hormones, those sympathomimetic hormones, you know, those hormones or chemicals that make you on edge, that keeps your heart beating faster, blood pressure high, and all those things. If you do not sleep, those hormones become more. In other words, there's an imbalance because you are releasing more of those hormones, and that eventually affects your heart and brain wellness. So that is a point that we want to put across by saying that hormonal balance can be affected if you do not sleep well. So sleep helps to balance out the cortisols, the adrenalines, and all those hormones that raise your blood pressure and make your pressure, your heart race faster. You have anything else to add?
Yeah. So with the hormonal imbalance, during the day, the cortisol production, it's likely that you are staying up during the day, and the state of being like alert is
Mhm.
very high.
Mhm.
So you have the flight and the flee thing going on throughout the day. So if you are awake, you are at that state during the day, and at night it drops because you are resting, and you are not at that state of mind throughout the night because you're sleeping, and that balances the hormonal level. But if you stay at the alert state, like the flight flee state throughout the day, the 24/7, or you say 22 hours a day, there is no balance about how your body can adjust the hormones.
Mhm.
So if there is no imbalance, there
If
is
there is
no
imbalance,
balance here, there is no balance in the hormonal production, then that will lead to your chance getting stroke. So sleep is very important. So this will lead to the people that work overnight,
Mhm.
that you stay awake throughout the night, and you can't find good time to sleep during the day. Definitely there is an imbalance in your hormones. So there is something that you have to watch. So people suggested that maybe you can do up to 8 years of overnight and just try and switch your shift around, so that there is a balance between the two. If you are able to sleep, I think some people say that their body is used to it and they are able to tolerate that. But sometimes it's good to watch this, especially if you get home and you don't really get a night sleep or like the day sleep. you don't get enough hours in.
So
That is
basically,
definitely a
if you
problem.
do overnights, much as we want you to stop, if you cannot stop, because we understand some economic situations, you can stop. Sometimes, too, you are a two-parent, family. You
Young
have
kids,
children,
yeah.
young kids. Somebody has to be home so that the kids come home from school and there's a parent at home. We understand. As a matter of fact, I
We
did
did
it.
that.
We did it. I did overnight for 3 years, just for that reason. So it is okay if you do that. And I can tell those were the times that I gained the most weight. People think that you are skinny, you good. I gained weight when I did overnight. And the reason was that I came home, I ate, and I slept. So it was just eating and sleeping that made that happen. And I think if I had done it for a longer period, it wouldn't have been good. And if you can ensure that you plan your life in such a way that when you are home, that is your night. Your body knows that that is your night. So you go to bed, you give yourself enough time, 6, 8 hours of sleep, and you are not eating through that time because you are sleeping. Then, as long as you can, consistently repeat that, your circadian rhythm will switch around like that, and you will be fine. But it is hard because the body also looks at sunlight and
Right.
tells you that you have to be awake. So you're gonna have to put in a lot to be able to ensure that you switch it around that way and still make the best out of your schedule. And like Gifty saying, if you can stop, it is good. I think I suggested this one day to
You got
somebody,
into trouble.
and I was it's like, what are you talking about? Not considering that person's situation. Because everybody is different in terms of where they are in their family, and it may not work out if you stop working overnight. But definitely plan to ensure that you come home. When you are home, you give yourself that time that everybody sleeps, and you are not eating when you sleep, because otherwise you're going to gain the weight in your belly. Your waist circumference is going to pick up. Because you're not working, you are sleeping. But when you're working in the night, you're also eating. And you are, in the daytime, when you're supposed to be sleeping and not
You're eating.
eating, you are eating because you think that you're home, you have to eat. Meanwhile, for you, it is your nighttime. You should be sleeping, and you are not sleeping. You are eating, thinking that you have come from work, you are tired, you have to eat. Yes, that is where the problem comes. So if you can be disciplined enough and say that, okay, when other people are sleeping, do they eat? No. Okay, I'm going to eat when I come home, but I'm giving myself a few hours to make sure that the food that I ate has worked, and then I'll go to bed. Not eat and hit the bed right away because you came home and you're tired, and everybody must, come on. So that is how you plan out the overnight. We didn't plan to talk about this as
Yeah.
much, but it's taking us some time. So definitely make the necessary adjustment. And if you are watching and you work overnight and you have questions, or you watch later and you have questions, put it in the chat. We may be able to more specifically guide you as to what to go, how to go about it, doing that. So with that being said, we can go, unless you have anything else to
No,
say
we
about it.
can.
So we can go to the next slide on sleep. We're talking about sleep a little bit because I think for all the things you are talking about today, that is the one that has the most impact: stress and sleep, right? So let's go to the next one. So the next one on sleep is the disorders that happen with sleep. Some people, apart from just working overnight and not being able to sleep, they have sleep disorders, and this happens, you know, dependent on your situation. So the first one we're going to talk about is sleep apnea, right? Some people, by virtue of your weight, you have that sleep apnea going on. If you are heavy set, you are more at risk of getting sleep apnea. But the most important thing I want to draw your attention to is that you may not even know that you have sleep apnea, and that is the most important thing that we want you to take home. You may not even know that you have sleep apnea, but the way to find out is to get sleep studies done. If you wake up every morning tired, you know you slept 8 hours. You think you slept 8 hours, and yet when you wake up, you are so tired. You are
Exhausted.
always
You are
you
exhausted.
are exhausted. You are like somebody has beaten you, and you are like somebody sat on you. You are like you went to work. Even though you woke up from sleep where you feel like you should be refreshed, that is when you are tired. Or you wake up in the middle of the night. You don't know why, but you keep waking up in the middle of the night. You may have sleep apnea, and sleep apnea leads to certain things that we're going to talk about. And maybe we can, if you want to start with that. So some of the things that sleep apnea may do is that and leads to repeated awakenings. Repeated, you wake up all the time. You're sleeping, but you wake up. You keep waking up. You keep waking up. You keep waking up, and that is going to lead to something else.
And it's also prevents for oxygen deprivation. You're
It
not
leads to
getting. It leads to you
oxygen.
don't get
Yeah,
enough oxygen because you are not breathing well and you're waking up, right? And for not getting enough oxygen, it causes stress on your body, and stress on your body, as we discussed already, increases your blood pressure.
Definitely. So that is how sleep apnea, untreated sleep apnea, can lead eventually to stroke. So you are losing oxygen because you're waking up, you can't breathe, you're not able to breathe. So this person that is seen in our shot is somebody who is being treated for sleep apnea. They are getting enough oxygen. They are being treated. There are several new technologies out there that are being used to help people with sleep apnea. That way they get the oxygen. But if you are in sleep apnea, which is not treated, your body is always exhausted from the lack of oxygen. And when that happens, the stress that comes on your body will lead to high blood pressure, which, remember, is a leading cause of stroke. So over a long period, it may not be 1 year, over years, this can make you stroke prone. And that is why it is a holistic approach to preventing stroke. Make sure that your doctor knows about it if you are having difficulty sleeping. All right. So with that, we're going to go to the next thing on sleep, which is also affecting your life and your cardiovascular health, in particular leading to strokes. Sleep disorders like difficulty in falling asleep. Some people will go to bed, lay down, they know it's time to sleep, but when they go to bed and lie down, they cannot fall asleep. That is a sleep disorder. I mean, in my books, that I would say that is, you are not getting the sleep you want. And so that is not right. And then for some people too, they go to bed, they fall asleep all right, but by 2 a.m., their eyes are open, or 3 a.m., and they can't sleep anymore, waking up too early. And other people also choose not to sleep at all, which is
The young ones.
the younger ones, even some older folks too, because of work, stress from work and stuff. We come home and we bring work home. Like the person in our shot here, you can tell that he is dozing off, and yet he is forcing himself to continue to work because he has chosen not to sleep. And that is something that is not good for your brain health, your cardiovascular health, in particular, leading to stroke. So let's, we don't want to just list the problems and let it slide. We want to talk about some solutions. So let's talk about how somebody can also avoid this. For sleep apnea, we told you see your doctor. Now, difficulty falling asleep. Some simple steps. Can you bring some ideas?
So, like, you have to set up your bedroom in such a way that when you are going to bed, you are going to bed. You are not still holding on to your phone. You are still your lights and your TV is on. A lot of distractions happening. If that happens, there is no way that you are going to fall asleep. It's going to keep you awake. It's going to stimulate your brain. Your brain is still going to be awake, and you cannot have a good night's sleep. So you have to set your bedroom in such a way that when it's time to bed, you turn everything off. If your phone will disturb you, you put do not disturb.
You don't even go on Facebook.
Even you don't go on Facebook. You don't check your status or anything like that.
You don't check your status? What if somebody just showed you something? You gotta
put
check
it on
your
the
status.
Turn everything off.
Turn everything
just
off.
Be conscious about it and just have a good night's sleep.
My goodness. And what I will add to that is that I think I was saying before we came on that if it is time for bed, it is time for bed. That's not the time to think about your stresses of the day. If you have hit the bed, you are telling your body that I'm going to bed, I'm going to sleep. That's not the time for you to sort of begin to think about how your day didn't go well. Oh, I wish I had done this, what your boss said, or how somebody else at work told you. No, that's not the time for that. When you are touching the bed, it is time closing off everything. Everything must shut off so that you can focus on sleep. And sleep demands focus. If you don't focus your attention on sleeping, you can wander around in the air thinking about unnecessary stuff. And before you know, 1 hour has gone.
Yeah.
You were thinking about one word that somebody said at work, one word that somebody said in the day, or what you wanted to eat that you never found to buy. All those things will keep you awake. So what I do personally is when I'm trying to sleep, I deliberately tell myself I'm not thinking. A thought will come, I'm like, no, this is
No,
not the
I'm not
time.
thinking
I'm not
about
thinking
it.
about this. Because if you don't, your brain has accumulated a lot of information in the day that it will come if you allow it. All those things will come. But you got to actively stop your mind from wandering or from thinking so that you can have an early sleep. That is very important. And then also, you don't think about the next day's problems when you go to bed. If you are touching the bed, you are telling and trusting God that when you wake up on the other side, which is the next day, the day is going to be bright. Oh, come on, man. The day is going to be fine. Scripture says something. It says, sufficient unto the day is the evil thereof. So let the day think about itself. Let tomorrow, let tomorrow worry about tomorrow.
Right.
If you are tonight and you're sleeping, just go to bed. Tomorrow will take care of itself when you come to face tomorrow. Don't bring the stuff you're going to do tomorrow into your bed. You are going to stay awake because it's going to create anxiety. It's going to create problems for you. It's going to make your mind think and think and think, and thinking is preventing sleep. And over time, one day it's okay. Maybe you have an interview, you think about it that night, and you had sleepless night, or you have a speaking engagement. Sometimes when I have a speaking engagement, my wife knows what I go through. you know, that will make you. I mean, that will keep you awake. But you don't speak every day, so just that one night you had a little bit of late night sleep. It's okay, but don't let it every day. This person said this, and you're dwelling on it. Everything about tomorrow you are bringing to bed, that's going to keep you up, and eventually your pressure is going to shoot up. Even when you wake up, you don't get the best of days because you're not fully rested. And so that is why we are saying that avoid doing all those things. And we have another comment that says, Adra Walkins says, right. I don't know which one you said right to, but we take that right anyway. All right. Anything else to add to that for getting a better sleep?
Waking up too early.
Yeah, we also talked about waking up too early, right? And so what can we do to prevent that?
Yeah, sometimes some people nap throughout the day, so when it's time for them to go to bed at night, the body is already rested. So they tend to wake up early. So if you are a morning person, most people will go to bed early. And that's okay if you wake up around 5 o'clock. Maybe you've gotten all your 8 hours. So that will be okay. But some people wake up maybe at 2 a.m. and they can't go back to bed. They cannot go back to bed. That can be something that may be stressing you out. That is something maybe that you are worried about. Like you're saying, you have to be conscious about it. Like, I'm not going to worry about this now. I need my sleep. Sometimes you can get up from bed, go around, and maybe some people will go and drink milk.
Warm
Healthy
milk, right?
milk, mom, warm milk, or maybe almond warm milk,
Almond,
right?
come on, man.
So you drink milk, you take a straw or something like that, then you go back and make up your mind to fall back asleep. So if I think we would touch base on the supplements, if it's something that is consistently happening, then you can bring it up to your doctor to see if there is something they can help you. Sometimes there is a loss in the family, there is something huge that has happened, and you're stressing, your body is stressed. So that will be something you can discuss with your doctor. They can give you something to help you through that period of time. But consciously, if you're okay, nothing is at stake, just make up your mind that you're going to fall back asleep consciously, and sleep will definitely return.
Sleep will definitely return. Come on, man. Sleep will come. Sleep will definitely return. The last point about sleep is choosing not to sleep, right? Choosing not to sleep. And this is where a lot of professionals like us, we fall victims at. You can sleep, but you don't go to sleep. Like the shot that we were showing, right? This guy right here is begging sleep to go away.
Maybe he has presentation
He has a
coming up, right? He's not done yet.
maybe he's not done with his presentation, so he's trying to catch up before tomorrow. But as you can tell, he's not gaining anything out of this. So it would be better to sleep and
Wake up.
potentially wake up early and do your work than to deny yourself of sleep. And again, if it is a one-time deal, you have a presentation the next day and you have to pull an all-nighter, It's okay. It's just one time. But if it is every day, as for you, every day you are working, you bring your work computer home. And if, as a matter of fact, your wife or your husband is even tired of this. They are complaining. Come on. As for you, all the time you are working late. You are bringing your laptop to bed. Or if you are home, your honey is already in bed and you are staying up to do the presentation. God knows what presentation takes every day. Oh, come on, man. That is the one that can lead to potential difficulties in later life. Stress, which will lead to blood pressure problems and also stroke. So if you are choosing not to sleep, which is an easy thing for all of us to do, we are all advising ourselves because I can do that. If I'm into a movie and I like the way it's going, I don't mind. In fact, sleep my eyes won't even close because I'm so much into it, And I'm pretty sure some people feel that way. And in the same way, you are into a project, editing, writing, whatever it is, you can zone yourself so much into it that you may forget that you need to even sleep. Even though you don't feel tired, you still have to sleep because it's going to add up and eventually not be good for your mental health and your cardiovascular health, especially stroke in this sense. So that is what that is for sleep. I don't think we have any more to say on sleep, do we? Okay, so we'll be moving to the next one, unless you had anything.
We're good.
All right. So the next holistic thing to do to prevent stroke is to have physical activity. And because we are a cardiovascular health channel, this thing comes across all the time. Physical activity or exercise is something every subject that we mention comes in. As a matter of fact, it doesn't matter what kind of a health, topic you talk about. All that healthcare professionals will tell you is what's your diet and exercise. You're not going to miss that. And so, not you shouldn't be surprised when we're talking about holistic approaches to preventing stroke that physical activity has shown its ugly head here. And so, that is what we also want you to know. Improves exercise or physical activity improves weight. You can manage your weight. You may not lose the weight as much, but at least it will be at some point. And that helps because less weight leads to less stroke risk. All right. And then it also lowers your cholesterol if you are consistently exercising, especially your bad cholesterol, while it increases your good cholesterol, which is HDL, the one you want. So exercise is good in terms of that. And we know that cholesterol plaques are the culprits in stroke. When you are getting a stroke, the most likely thing that happens, especially with ischemic stroke, is that there's a plaque that broke off, and the plaque is made up of cholesterol. Because if you have excess cholesterol, you are putting yourself at risk. In that case, if you exercise more, you are decreasing your risk for cholesterol buildup and also for stroke in that regard. You want to continue with that?
Yeah, and you also lower your blood pressure, right? If you exercise, you stay active, you lower your blood pressure. And we've already said lower blood pressure is a deal. You don't want to increase your blood pressure that will cause you to have stroke. It also reduces what stresses. So I think managing stress, you said we will delve more into it. This is another way that we can manage stress. Exercising. If you exercise, you release the good hormone, right? The feel good hormone.
The endorphins.
The
You release
endorphins.
endorphins.
Yeah, so that endorphins
Serotonins.
relaxes
all
your
those good
muscles
stuff.
and you are all relaxed and all the stresses go down. So that's the way you can continue. And it's also improve your vascular health and blood flow. So it's open up the vascular system, everything moves freely, and that controls your blood pressure, which will definitely help you from not getting stroke.
Oh, come on, man. That's what's up. So, physical activity on the chopping block today for holistic stroke prevention. That's an easy one to incorporate. And the cheat here is if you exercise well, your sleep is usually good.
Yes.
I can tell you that. If you exercise, your sleep is good. So, that's another way to improve your sleep. All right. All right, let's move to the next one. The next one is social connections. Having social connections is another holistic approach to preventing stroke. And how do we connect social connections? It's, and it is obvious once you think about it well. Because if you are socially connected, if you have links, if you have groups, if you belong to a group, you reduce your stress. People who I walk alone, people who are so individualistic, they have no friends. Those people are some of the most stressed people. Why? Because you don't have anybody to share your problems with. You don't have anybody to agree or disagree with you.
Disagree with you, right?
Yeah, sometimes disagreement
Healthy
happens and it's
disagreement.
healthy, argument. You scream and they scream and finally somebody is a winner and you guys go your way. Pressure, you vented up your pressure right there. And so social connections are important. And by social connections, I'm not just talking about social media. I have thousands of friends on social media. Trust me, most of the friends on Facebook, I don't even know them. Come on. Yeah, I mean, they will wish you happy birthday. They would say something positive when you post it, but intimately they don't know you. The people that are around, the people you pick up phone calls to call, those are your most cherished people. People who you can connect to and talk to, and share problems and this and all those things with. That way, you have a support system that will lead to coping in case you
Right.
face problems, right?
Yeah, so social, so we can think of what church. Yeah, you belong to a group, a church group. You feel belonging, you feel like you belong to a group. And when you get together, you share your problems. Somebody will say something that will uplift you. Sometimes you are going through something and you feel like you are the only one, not knowing that almost everybody around you is going through the same thing. So you come together, you find solution. Sometimes you say something and somebody have a solution for you because they've been there, they've been through that situation already, and they give you ideas. So that definitely help with your stress level. But if you don't have any connection, and we can also think of family, you don't want to be isolated from your family. You are going through something, you are stressed, you can't sleep at night, and all that is happening to you. All that you need is to talk to your mother. That you'll be surprised the advice that they will share with you. So people around you, you can
If you don't
talk
have a
to.
mother, if you
If you
lost
don't
your
have a,
mother, your
yeah,
father. Come
your
on, why is it
father
only
is.
your mother? Come on, man. The fathers are there too. You don't help too. Come on, call and
You
talk to
have
the
your
fathers too.
siblings. You have people around you that are so close to you and they care about you. So don't be a loner. Try to connect. And by connection, most of your stresses will be taken away. And that you don't have to worry about your blood pressure going up, about sleepless nights, about your circadian rhythm being imbalanced or not healthy, hormonal levels all
Over the
over,
place.
all over the place, because you are stressed and you feel so lonely. But if you feel belonging, that sense of belonging makes you keep going, that you have a purpose, you have a reason to keep fighting because you
Reason.
have people around
Reason to
you.
keep on, right?
Yeah. So that would definitely give you an assurance, relaxes you, and that your chance of getting stroke is very minimal because your stress level and the things that are taking over your life is being taken care of by friends and family.
All right, all right, all right. That is very, very true. Making sure that you are well connected, to people. It's one of the things that will help you overcome cardiovascular issues, including strokes and heart disease, because being alone is not good. And the other thing is, those who belong to groups or people who have social connections, they are the ones that have healthy behaviors. Because, of course, it depends. If your group that you associate yourself with are the unhealthy kind, if your group and people around you are always, let's go eat ice cream, let's go eat pizza, let's
Let's go
go
drink.
drink. Oh, come on, man.
Let's go smoke.
Let's go smoke. You get some mental health kind of help. But, when it comes to health in terms of the body, physical health, or should I say somatic health, then you are not going to be healthy. So choose those connections right. But for the most part, even if you have a bunch of friends, maybe a couple may be the ones that always want to boost for the most part, So just get connected and ensure that you get the healthy behaviors going. And also, people who are connected like that, they have positive mental health. The anxieties are down, depression is down, and all those stresses that lead to people having mood swings and stuff are down. Because even if your mood is swinging, you have somebody to talk to lift you up, right? Yeah. But for the person who has nobody around, God knows what you'll be dealing with. You have nobody to talk to. So it's very, very important and thing to do. And I think Elder Daddy says something else that is also important. I said that I think social events also help. Oh, my goodness. My goodness. Social events, social events also help,
Some people don't like going to social gatherings,
They have to learn if you want to, because that's how you try to connect. You connect to the environment. I remember they had some soccer game, international soccer game, and I was there. Some people would think that, hey, because of this, I don't think you are too busy. You are this. I went. We played. The whole family went.
We went,
Watch soccer.
We supported Ghana,
We
right?
supported it. Wherever you find a social activity, it may be a funeral of a place, just go. You can't just stay home all the time. Go talk to people, social events, and especially if you're a Christian, church conventions and Sunday church, you cannot stay home. Some people are like, oh, I can watch church on TV, I can watch mosque on TV. You are kidding me. Come on, man. There ain't nothing like being present. Being present is different. No, we are all spoiled by COVID and we think that church is okay to just stay home and watch. No, it is for those who, because of work, they cannot make it. Because maybe you are sick, you can't go. That's fine.
Yeah.
But you don't choose to stay home and watch church on TV because it's a convenience. You are missing out. You know how many people I shook hands with today when I went? Come on, man.
Work on your stress level.
You work on your stress level. How many people you haven't met for a long time and you meet them and you guys just break into a conversation here and there, go into the basement and drink some coffee that aunties make. Come on, man. It's the connection. It brings all the stresses come down.
Yes.
It's very important. So don't underestimate those. We undervalue those until we start paying for medications for hundreds of dollars, where you have solutions right in the basements of your church, right in the places where you can hang out, but we don't. So very good point there for bringing that up. Social events.
Like, as immigrants, I think this is a very a good point, because if you're not careful, you tend to be so lonely because you don't have your family here and you can feel lonely. So belonging is very important. So if it's not even church, we have some cultural groups, we have some other groups available that you can join, so that there is a connection, and definitely they will share information with you. You'll be informed. If you have concern, they share that with you. So we should try and connect with one another.
Should try and connect with one another. Now, brother Rob also says, great, 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 great. Thank you for saying that. I put it up already, but I'll put it up again so that we can get it. I think this is the first time I'm getting him live. He always watches, but not live. All right, so that is very important. And I think I like the point you brought about immigrants too, because you can be among millions of people, especially in the US, hundreds of millions, and still be alone. And the society is such that everybody is in their room. Everybody is
You
in
don't
their
even know your
You
neighbor.
don't even know your neighbors. Why? Because of the way that things are set up. Everybody's going to work. Everybody's busy. And even if they are not, they would rather spend it with their family. You can just intrude all the time. So you got to actively make the choice to be connected. Because if not, you are going to be a loner no matter what. So you got to make that decision to say that, you know what, I can't be alone. I have to have a friend. I have to talk to somebody. I have to have somebody that I can share my life with, in terms of talking and, sometimes just walking together, form a group or some, and enjoy. I was thinking about forming, some kind of a small group, just church guys going to, maybe one of these restaurants and eat every once in a while. I think, but Rob, you can actually take that out. Yeah, just hang out. They call it hang out. Just hang out.
Yep.
Some people hang out at the sports bar, drink, and then they watch sports. Why can't we hang out not at the sports bar, or not drinking, but doing some stuff? Just talk. We can take our wives if they are noisy. We can take them.
But do you know what the problem is? I think we work so much.
You don't have time,
We are tired all the time.
and you don't
So
even
we
have
would
time.
rather sleep.
You sleep.
We
When you
rather
come home,
sleep.
it's a time to catch up on sleep.
Yeah.
But we'll work out something.
Yeah.
Okay, and I have another comment. Joyce Addo says, "Thanks for sharing, Doc. Thank you. Thank you, Joyce." All right. All right. So that is for social connections. There's a lot that we can talk about social connections, but in the interest of time, we will move on, and hopefully, we will have time to deal more with social connections again some other time. So the next thing that we are going to talk about is, see what that is. It's natural supplements. Come on, man, that's another good one. Natural supplements. Natural supplements. All right. So for natural supplements, and again, before we proceed, those of you who are watching from our YouTube channel, you can see I'm showing some golden
Omega-3.
beads called, these are omega-3 fatty acids made into what do you call it? Made into capsules for you to take. But the caveat or the disclaimer I want to put around now is that before you take anything, even though these are not prescription medications, we want you to talk to your doctor first. I hope we are making sense. I cannot stress that enough. We don't want you to go out there buying anything because you saw it on our show. These are over the counter stuff, and yet everybody's body is different, and your disease state may not permit that you take anything that your doctor doesn't know about. But with that being said, we can say that studies have shown that omega-3 fatty acids, I mean, it's a known fact there, wherever you go. The omega-3 fatty acids are very good sources of good fatty acids, of course, that are going to help you with your cardiovascular health. When we talked about foods last week, we mentioned the natural food sources that you can get omega-3 fatty acids from. But again, some people don't like to eat fish. Some people don't like to eat almonds or nuts and seeds and chia seeds and all that. And so for those people, you could use omega-3 supplementation from over the counter. All right, you want to talk about the other one?
Yeah, and we are talking about capsules, right? So we have magnesium too. So taking magnesium also help with your cardiovascular health. It work in your vessels and make your blood flow easily, and that would definitely lower your blood pressure. So magnesium is very good one over the counter supplement that you can take that will prevent you from getting stroke. And also vitamin D is something that you can supplement. I think last time a doctor came on our show and she recommended 2,000 units, international units. But as we said already, you have to consult with your doctor, and taking 2,000 international units a day is definitely helpful. That will help you when it comes to stroke. And also there is a capsule called garlic that has garlic in there, and that can also be helpful. And we also have coenzyme Q10. That is also something that you can take over the counter.
The coenzyme Q10 is also an antioxidant that helps build cellular energy, and that may also help. So all these things, again, before you take anything, make sure you talk to your doctor first. Omega-3 fatty acids, magnesium, in particular, if you have a heart condition, have arrhythmias, don't dare take magnesium without talking to your doctor. And of course, if you don't know you have arrhythmias, you don't take it. So the key is before you take anything, mention it to your doctor and say that I think magnesium oxide is something that most people talk. In my practice, a lot of people are on magnesium oxide. But that being said, you still have to talk to your doctor to see if it is good for you, if you have good enough levels, or if your levels are not too high that you take anything. Same way with vitamin D. But vitamin D, it's a known fact that it is, most people, especially if you have dark skin tone like us, you may need to supplement. But before you do that, again, talk to your doctor first. All those will help you to do the right stuff. Now, we have another question before we go to our next one. So I think I'm going to hit this one so that we can put the question there. I think it was about the sleep. So our brother saying that can late dinner affect a good night's sleep? That's a good question. Can eating late in the night affect a good night's sleep? You understand? Or?
You go ahead.
All right. So, what I would say is, well, two things. If it is possible at all, don't eat late. That's the first thing, if it's possible. And I'm saying that if it's possible because depending on what time you come home,
from
your
work.
dinner may be late. You know, sometimes I come home at, after 8 o'clock, and if you haven't had dinner, that's when your dinner is. And so, if you can, if you can afford to, for example, if you can bring your dinner to work and eat around the 3, 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock latest time, that would be perfect. But if it cannot happen, like some of us, our careers won't, you work late and you can't, then try as much as possible to eat lighter on the dinner. So let your breakfast and lunch be heavy and cut back on the dinners. Let the dinner be the salads, more of the greens, the avocados, the broccolis, the spinaches, and all the other good stuff that we've been showing. I think you haven't seen some of the things I've shown, but I've shown some pretty good stuff that you can have for dinner. For your fishes, your salmon, baked salmon fish. I mean, if you're eating those at night, that would be fine. But if you're eating potato, benku, starchy food, yam, yuca, some people also call cocoyam, plantains, or fufu, or rice balls, or gari, or all those white starchy stuff in the night, then that's no good. Now, if that's all you have, and you have to eat it in the late time, then I will beg you to sit down for at least 2 hours,
2 hours
or more, just to make sure that that goes down and you have used it up. And then from that time, you go to bed. But the question really is, does that affect your sleep? And I think it does, depending on the person. For me, when I'm so full and I sleep good. Come on. But recently, I found out that it was all up in here. It's not really true.
Yeah.
I thought that you have to eat good and feel it in your belly before you can fall asleep. But it's all in my coconut here.
Mindset.
That in my mindset. That's me. I mean, it was all a mindset thing. Until I started doing this and I started reading and learning. And I found out that even when you eat salads and you eat some nuts and you drink water, you can still sleep. Oh, come on, man. And sometimes your sleep is even better off than to eat the heavy set foods. And so it's all a mindset thing. Some of the things we know, as for me, if I'm hungry, I can't sleep. It is all certain things we made up. Try it. And if you feel hungry, just fill your belly with water. You will go and pee it out eventually, rather than to eat the heavy starches and go to bed with them. So yes, being full may not affect you, but everybody is different. May not affect your sleep, but everybody is different. And on the other hand, if your sugar levels are creeping up, then being full a lot in the night may wake you up to go and pee. So it will interrupt your sleep. If you are pre-diabetic, because your sugar levels are going up because you are eating more in the night, when your sugar levels are higher, the way the body gets rid of sugar is you pee it out. So you wake up frequently to pee, and that disrupts your sleep. So in that sense, then eating more in the night will bring you into problems. So that is what I would say with that. I don't know what you also think.
Yeah, so I think sometimes too the way that the mindset is, if we have not eaten or sat down to really eat throughout the day, but we've been snacking, we get home at night, we feel like we have to eat. Because in our mind, we
We
are
haven't
thinking
eaten
that we
all
haven't
day.
eaten all day. Meanwhile, we've been snacking and eating almost
And even if you
everything.
haven't eaten all day, you just have to eat. You don't have to think that because I haven't eaten all day, I
I
have
have
to
to
eat
eat a
real
lot.
heavy because
Yes.
no, your body is not calling for that. It's,
So, but because of the way we think, we are like we have to really eat because we haven't eaten all day. So, like your suggestion, something light
something
at
very
night
light.
and just drink water. You'll be surprised. You will wake up and you will feel even better than having the heavy food and going. When I do that at night, I wake up the next day and I don't feel fine at all. I feel something is off because the digestion wasn't on point and you didn't exercise, you didn't do anything, there is no activity, and you went like to bed. So if you can stay up longer before bedtime, that may be okay. But we shouldn't think that because we haven't eaten, we have to eat the heavy food before we go to bed.
Come on, man. Come on, man. And my
It's so
sister Joyce
tough.
answered, it's so tough. We need this education. How can we avoid it? How can we avoid it? Yes, definitely. It is a mindset thing.
Mindset.
We can't, we gotta have to do it. We're gonna have to do it. And yesterday, for instance, just by the way, I think I ate my last dinner, or what I call my around 4 o'clock
4 o'clock, yeah.
yeah. And then in the evening, I was home. I wasn't really hungry. I went to funeral and I came back, and I was like, "Hey, should I not eat something?" I started opening the fridge. This is something around 8 o'clock, and again, it was the mindset
Mindset.
because I thought I ate in the afternoon. Meanwhile, I wasn't even hungry. But the whole point is, oh, I haven't eaten all this while. We did yet check, as we say. I haven't eaten all this while. So what? You're not hungry. Go to bed. But the good thing is when you teach these things, you become your own, candidate. So I remembered, well, we're teaching people not to eat late. So you know what I did? I packed up some almonds and some, what's the other one? The one that is brain. Some almonds and,
Walnuts.
walnuts, almonds and walnuts, and a few other nuts, mixed them together, ate them, and I drank water, and I wasn't hungry. But when I woke up today to go to church, I didn't eat anything in the morning. I went to church and closed and came before I'm actually at church. After church was over, that's when I drank coffee, black coffee too, and I wasn't hungry.
You were
But the
fine.
mindset, I was fine. If it were at first, I would have been like, hey, come and fix me dinner. Come and fix me dinner. You cannot make me not eat. It's all in the mindset. It's all in the mind. We can do it, trust me. It is not as hard. And some of the tricks to do it is to replace those things with these nuts, because the nuts will fail you because of the fiber. Nuts or salads.
Right.
Just make cook a quick salad. And one thing that you also do, the broccoli, that you warm it up and
Yeah, the frozen one.
frozen
Just
broccolis, right?
microwave it, a little spice on it, and
And then
it fills you up.
you fill up, drink water, and you are full. And that is healthier. You're getting your greens and your fibers and everything. And so we can do it. Trust me, Joyce, we can do this. We can do this. And she put the emojis. All right. All right. Yeah. And that's it. The walnuts. Walnuts. You are definitely right. All right. So let's see if we can shift to the next one. We have one more, I think one more, right? Before
Yeah.
we go to the next one. Let me see if I can get it there, and then we can move. All right. So we were talking about omega-3s, magnesium, vitamin D, garlic, and CoQ10 after you talk to your doctor.
And if you go to the pharmacy, they are over the counter. Sometimes they are on sale. You can buy it, share it with your husband, and you take it together every night. And definitely that will help your heart health.
Definitely. And Joyce says the mindset is the most dangerous thing ever. I agree. Those are things you have learned from childhood, and it's so tough to let them
break that.
go. All right, so we are going to go to our last one, and hopefully we can end there. And that is lifestyle and environment. We actually jumped a few things together in this one because we want to be complete. So, what lifestyle and environmental factors can affect your risk of stroke or can decrease your risk of stroke? And for those watching on YouTube, you can tell this young, beautiful lady is sipping something, which I can tell is definitely not water. This is not water. So, The first thing is, since she is showing us, let's try and avoid alcohol if we are drinking alcohol, because alcohol increases your risk of stroke,
Mm,
definitely,
mm,
big time. People, a lot of the people who have stroke, some of them at least, were people who were close with alcohol. They were very good friends with alcohol. And so, if you want to decrease your risk for stroke, if you want to holistically, if you don't want to be just eating those good things, your another way is to stop drinking alcohol. And then smoking, right?
yep.
And smoking too. I know a lot of people don't smoke, but if you do, it's another chance for you to avoid smoking. You want to talk about anything else?
Yeah, and toxins, right? So if uh, the sources of your food is not from a healthy source, you are not buying from good sources, so some of the foods are sprayed with chemicals to a point that it's not healthy to ingest. Sometimes you have to cook it to the level that you get rid of all the toxins. So when you're shopping, if you are going to eat it raw, you have to make sure that you buy the good source of foods. You are not just going grocery and you're just buying anything. You have to pay attention to the sources of food that you buy so that you avoid the toxins. And also, I think last time we talked about overcooking your food, like burnt foods. If you eat a lot of burnt food, it's likely that you're introducing toxins into your system, and that can definitely affect your cardiovascular health.
Definitely, definitely, definitely. As well as environmental poisons and toxins, all those will work against your cardiovascular health and eventually can lead to stroke. But the last one on the list is the safe home that I put there. And I put that there for a reason, because as we grow, some of us are getting up there in age. You watch your house. How much flight of stairs do you have to climb in your house as you're getting older, 50, 60? If you are pushing 70, then obviously you got to be even more careful,
Mhm.
because all it takes is to fall. And in our practice, we hear a lot of people falling. It's people who even you don't think are unhealthy, they fall and everything start going downhill. And so we have to make sure that our homes are safe enough for us to dwell. If you live in an apartment complex and you have to climb up and up and up, every time you're going up, every time you go into your room, you have to climb. And your age, you are pushing it up. You are getting up there in age. This is time to review those things, because if you fall and you hit your head, you are going to get a bleeding stroke. You are going to
Mhm.
get some blood in your brain. And some people, in fact, we had somebody that did not survive in our area just because they fell a flight of
Stress.
stairs down their home, their own apartment. And so it may sound like it's too far-fetched. It is not. So make sure that your home is safe for you as you grow. You may have bought a nice home, you didn't think about it, or even if you thought right at that time you bought it, you were in good shape. Now you are tripping up a little bit. You don't want to be falling in a place and have that thing have anything to do with your brain. It's not safe. All right.
Yeah,
and
and also bathrooms, right? When you
and your
go to the
bathrooms, oh
bathroom,
come on, man.
yeah, some of the tiles can be very slippery, and you can fall, you can slip, and you can hit your head. That can lead to a stroke. So you have to make sure that your surroundings are safe and you're doing things cautiously so that you don't fall, especially if your age is well advanced.
If you are well advanced in age, which a lot of people are pushing at the moment. So it may not be that well, like high, but still, you got to be safe. You got to be safe. You got to make sure. Don't we want you to climb upstairs and use it as an exercise, thing. But at some point, if it is not safe for you, it's going to have a bad effect on you. And I think you have a couple more, a lot more of comments from
What about
Joyce.
red wine?
Joyce said, "What about red wine?" I think we have answered this before in previous. It keeps coming up. It keeps coming up. So I would like you to take that.
Red wine. Yeah, so studies have shown that if you drink already as a woman, just 1 glass of red wine is healthy. And as a guy, 2 glasses of red wine, maybe cardiovascular, like it can help with your cardiovascular system. But it has also been known that if you don't drink at all, you don't need red wine to have a healthy heart. There are other things that you can do that will help with your heart. So it's more with the red wine because of the red thing that they use in making it, right? The pomegranate,
It's the grapes,
the
red
grapes.
grapes, red
So
grapes.
you can get it in other sorts. So if you don't drink at all, not because study have suggested that it help, you go and buy yourself red wine and start drinking. If you don't drink, you don't want to start because there are other things that you can do healthy. And we all know that sometimes when you start this and you are not very disciplined, it's likely that you may drink more than what you are supposed to drink. So, why do you start something that may be harmful if you overdo it? So, if you drink already, we are encouraging you. Study shows that you have to cut back and make it 1 glass of wine. And even they suggested that it should be with dinner. Like when you're eating, it's part of what you are consuming at a sit. You don't want to go around the house just drinking because they say red wine is healthy. So just 1 glass a day is okay. But if you don't drink, don't go buy red wine because studies is saying you have other things that you can do to have a healthy heart. That's what I
All
would
right,
say.
all right, all right, all right. And as a matter of fact, some studies are beginning to conflict that also. So much as initial studies say that 1 glass a day for a woman and 2 glasses a day for a man is good for your heart health, some studies are now coming up and say that some of fact don't do it. And so it is good if you, like she said, if you're not already doing it, then just stay away from it. And she also has another one. She says that a friend fell in her bathroom and ended up with an aneurysm. See what we're saying? And I'm pretty sure I can tell from your age you are not old. And so your friend may also be younger, and yet she went through that. So that is a sad case. So definitely we got to make sure that our homes are safe for us, not just any big mansion, but make sure that the homes are safe. You had something else that was put up, but I don't think I've seen that yet. I will look into that and
Cabernet
we
Sauvignon
talk
is
about.
a form of wine.
Oh, it's a form of wine. I know. You know why she knows? She used to work in the place where she sold wine and other alcoholics.
Yes,
So,
yes.
if anybody would know, it would be her, right? Okay, so that's part of the answer that you
Right.
gave then, right? Okay, and then let's see if there's anything else. Okay, she says, "Thanks for the clarification. You are welcome." All right. Yeah, and says,
Oh, she
"Oh,
passed away.
50 years old, but she passed away. Oh, sorry to hear that. Sorry to hear that." And that is what Joyce is saying, that the friend that fell and got an aneurysm passed away at age 50. So, some of the things we are talking here, this is what makes it more practical. And I'm happy you brought it up. So, it's not like, we are just having fun and telling you stories. These things do happen. These things do happen. So, when we say that to protect yourself from strokes, and certain things like an aneurysm, make sure your home is safe, especially as you grow. And this was just a 50-year-old, and she passed away just by falling in her own home. And so don't build those mansions and make the stairs, make it so tall so that everybody will know you made the money. It's going to be a trap for you. And I think you were telling me a story about somebody who has built a mansion or big house in Ghana, and now they can climb up.
The maid is living
The maid is
upstairs
sleeping upstairs,
and the owner is sleeping
and the
downstairs.
owner is the one that's sleeping downstairs. After
You can
retirement,
also put in an elevator. I think it's coming up.
how many people can afford an
Yeah, so
elevator though?
if you
You
can
know,
build a mansion,
if
put
you,
in an
if
elevator
yeah, I
there.
guess if you want to build a mansion, you must invest in an elevator, right? That way you don't fall or become a
Upstairs.
victim of your own house. All right, so that's a very I like the examples. That's why we are happy when people are able to share their own experiences. And Joyce, I thank you for being so upfront and giving all those pieces of information, as well as all those other people, Diogratias, Adade, my own dear friend, and Walkins, Ajwa Walkins, and Rob, Rob, and all those who are going to also share later. So let's keep sharing. And those watching on TikTok, make sure that you look at the same name on the TikTok page that you are watching. And after here, join the YouTube page and make sure that you watch it, because we have, we, as we speak now, you are seeing us all throughout. But on the YouTube presentation, you see the slides and some of the images that we have been talking about. So, and also subscribe. That way you will know when we go live. I don't know if there's anything else to share on that. Let me see if I have any last minute slide. I guess we have one last one, and then we will call it a day. And the last one is that our channel, we are also looking for people to sponsor, to become members of our channel. And so if you would like to be a member, membership entails not much. You just contribute a little bit, and then you get some benefits, especially if you start off right off the bat from the Kenton membership. You get monthly donations of $6.99 to our channel on YouTube. You got to be on YouTube to be able to join our membership for now. And we have we're going to be doing some special live shows for you where we can ask questions orally, not just typing. You can see us and we'll chat up, and we'll talk about certain specific disease states. At the same time, also people with the Golden Stool membership can also do that. And we have at least 4 of those sessions with you in a year. And the main thing is you are helping us spread the news, helping us foot the bills for what we're doing, and spreading the news. If you also want to be an Anansi or Spider member, $2.99 a month, you also help, Spider's Web, to spread the news. You become somebody who helps push out this info to the rest of the world. So we want to thank you all for joining us today. I think we've come to the end. Next week, we want to talk a little more about strokes before we end the series on stroke. This is season 6. So if you are watching us for the first time, you have to know that this is the 6th, I should say. This is the 6th major topic we are treating. We have done cholesterol, blood pressures, diabetes, and now we're doing stroke. And all of them has at least 11 videos. So if you subscribe, you have access to all of them, and you can binge and learn a lot, just as we are learning. We are all keeping learning going as we go forward. So thanks for joining us. And I think that's that. You have anything else to say? Okay. We said, Beloved, we wish above all things that you prosper and be in health, even as your soul prospers. Don't forget, we have another show on whole life. This show is strictly on health. But if you go to youtube.com/whole life channel, or if you are going to be on our Facebook channel, you see another set of videos that will talk about faith issues and money, how to make the dough. We don't want you to just live forever and be broke. We want you to be healthy, but make the money also and enjoy life. That's what we're about. Thank you for watching. God bless.
Thank you.